Hey there, thanks for listening in. I definitely want to help you guys out with some ways to implement sales practices into your business. Today, I'll go through what I'll touch on for you, but this is really geared to help you change everything about your sales processes and the way that you look at sales as a whole. So, what I'll go through here is a little bit about myself, why sales are so essential, the types of sales that there are, and 3 ways to implement sales tactics into your business starting tomorrow. I'll also go through some free resources and, of course, ways to contact myself here. A little bit about me. I'm a sales consultant, an author. I do have 10 years of sales experience myself, 5 years of B2B sales experience and coaching, along with 5 years of B2C sales experience as well. There's a couple of companies you may know that I've been fortunate enough to work with here. One of them being a company called AT&T, where I was a part of their AT&T UVerse campaign, dating all the way back to 2012, 2013 there. And then, of course, another company you may know called CenturyLink, which is more of a AT&T UVerse type of product where they have a fiber optic network. I actually helped implement their B2B sales process with CenturyLink and their D2D, which is door-to-door sales process with AT&T. I currently am the director of sales for a company here in Chicago called UpCity, which is a B2B marketplace or directory for digital businesses here itself. Anything within the B2B digital space, UpCity really helps out with. The big question is why sales? And first of all, it is the lifeblood of business itself. Sales is all around us, and it's what makes the world go round. Even today, probably this morning, if you went and bought a coffee somewhere, or if you made coffee at home, there was probably some type of sales process that happened in place for you to buy that coffee or to buy that creamer or to buy that milk, or anything that you use today happened in some type of sales transaction itself. The second here is to initiate growth. Sales initiates growth not just as a person, but also growth as a professional and growth within your business. And those are the 3 key ways that sales helps out in the lifeblood of your business in continuing your business to grow as well. 3, it also creates familiarity. There's an old adage of being a household name without having the platform. This is going to help you essentially get that product or service into the eyes or into the area of where a potential client will be seeing it. So when we create familiarity, we're not just saying to ourselves, oh, we are AT&T or we are CenturyLink or we're McDonald's. Everybody's very familiar with that. What we're trying to do is get in front of those people who are your target audience and creating that familiarity where you can actually use somebody that you've been able to have a successful sales process with, and also use that to create referrals from too. There's 2 types of sales. One is your B2B, which is business to business. That's speaking to a CEO, a CFO, a COO, somebody in a position to make a decision there. And the way to approach them is totally different. It's not the same as a B2C, which I'll touch on here in just a second, but for them, it's really looking at what is the ROI? What is the return on investment of this product or this service that you're offering? How can that make their company better or their team better? Whether it be saving them time, whether it be saving them money, making them money. There's tons of ways to approach that, but it's really that return that these CEOs, CFOs, COOs, these people in positions of power that you'll be speaking with are really looking for, and that's the way to approach them. On the B2C side, that's the business to consumer side. You're speaking to a consumer. That is a different approach where you're probably going to be looking more for product features and brand awareness. Somebody who likes Coke over Pepsi, maybe Pepsi over Coke. Maybe they remember the old Super Bowl commercials that Pepsi used to run. Things like that have create that brand awareness for them. Or maybe it's features that they like. Maybe it's a certain razor that they like to use when they shave. Maybe it's got some type of product features that are different from others. And then ultimately, cost is also a big factor. People do want the best quality for the lowest price. It's human nature. Nothing wrong with it on that end. You just have to know how to actually combat that and how to approach it as well. So the first sales implementation tactic that I'm going to talk about here is speed to lead. So you need to increase sales by simply getting back to the lead quickly. So we are in 2022 where everything is timestamped. If you receive a text message, it's timestamped. An email, if somebody calls you, any of these things that people are actually creating, being a lead for you and coming into your business, whether it's an email from somebody, whether it's even a referral, everything is timestamped. So from that moment you receive that lead here, you need to be able to contact them immediately. There's been studies that have shown, and one of the big companies who's done an awesome job with gathering this data is HubSpot. They showed in the first 0 to 15 minutes of that lead coming in, the likelihood of them closing increases by 50% if you're reaching out in that first 15-minute period. So that is 50% increase that you are actually going to sell this lead on your product or service. The second segment they looked at here is going to be that 16 minutes to 30-minute window. From there, it dropped all the way to 30% increase that you're going to make that sale. You may not think 20% is a big difference, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at the end of the month and you didn't hit your sales goal, and if you could have got to somebody a little bit quicker, it's more likely that you would have been able to hit that sales goal or exceed it just because you didn't get to that lead quick enough. Now, the third segment they looked at, and it's a huge drop off, is from minute 31 to that hour-long mark of when they first came in. Now it's already dropping down to just a 5% increase that they are going to close. So from 50% to 30 to 5. Overall, it is a huge drop off from not just 50% to 30, but also 30 to 5. When you're looking back at your sales goals, that's when you're really kicking yourself saying, I wish I could have gotten to them sooner. So now that everything is timestamped, you need to start holding yourself accountable. Say to yourself, I need to get to this lead within that first 0 to 15 minutes as soon as possible, as soon as I possibly can. Now, ultimately, I understand maybe you're on the phone, maybe you're doing a presentation, maybe you're already closing a deal. Those things are going to happen, and that's okay. The quicker you can get your process done to be able to complete the transaction, send out your proposal, whatever it may be, and get to that lead is going to help you increase your sales over time. So that first tactic here is speed to lead. Second is what I call real follow-up. This is another great statistic from HubSpot's sales statistics in 2021. It showed 48% of salespeople never make a single follow-up attempt. That makes my blood boil. There's tons of different ways to be able to follow up with people, and the fact that 48% of salespeople never make a single follow-up attempt is crazy. The money is in the follow-up. When you are following up with somebody, you're not only saying, hey, I remember our conversation, but you're also saying, hey, I'm taking time out of my day to actually follow up with you. Now, I'm not saying that you send out an email or that you make a bunch of calls and say, hey, did you look at my proposal? Hey, hoping that you saw the discount I gave you guys. Those are what they're getting every single day as a consumer. So you need to stand out. And the two ways that you do that, the first one in real follow-up is providing value. If you can find some type of article or blog or some type of content around a piece of value that you think that this lead or this prospect would actually see valuable, send it to them. So if you see something on Forbes around the best toothpastes in America, and you notice that their company's on there, or you notice their company's not on there, and you're pitching a toothpaste company, that's a good one to send. Hey, I saw this on there. I know you guys are trying to get to this level here as well. I really think that this will help motivate your team as well. Just something to relate with them. If you ever see an article about maybe you're talking to a roofing company, maybe they're looking at ways to improvise and cut costs, but also be effective. And you see an article about that or some piece of content, send it over to them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. And also when it comes to sending value, send it outside of business hours. It shows, hey, you're not working right now, but I did see something that came across that made me think of you, and you're sending it over to them. So people love value. The second one is going to be adding humor into your follow-up. Since everyone's getting these emails itself asking about, hey, did you read my proposal yet? And that's your follow-up technique over and over and over, you're not really going to get the sale. They're getting it from probably 10 to 15 people a day in that same situation. So you need to stand out. Once you provide value and then you add humor, that's going to be great for you to be able to get a response, which is what you want in a follow-up. Whether that response is, yes, let's sign up right now, or no, I can't do it. Because the sooner they tell you no, the sooner you can get them out of your pipeline and you can start focusing your energy on other efforts. So when it comes to humor, one that I really like to use is adding memes. So send a meme to somebody. They do see memes on Facebook all the time. They probably have shared a meme in their lifetime on Facebook or on social media in general. It's a great way to make somebody understand, hey, I'm thinking of you here. I'm using a tactic that's going to make them laugh, right? When you can make somebody laugh and it can say, hey, I'm really excited to send this over to them here. Let's see what their response is. And they say, hey, thanks so much for sending this to me. That made me chuckle. Yeah, let's talk next week. That's what you want to get out of it. Different types of memes out there. There's meme generator websites that are totally free that you're able to use as well. You can even customize it to what you want the prospect to see. One of the easiest and probably the corniest meme that I've used in my lifetime is sending out a picture of a dolphin. And at the top of it, it says, "Are you ignoring me on porpoise?" And it's the lamest dad joke there is, but I tell you, it is one that I always use, and it's super, super effective. You can definitely get creative with what's out there, and even the funny memes that only last for a week or two, if you can relate it back to them here, it'll definitely be very thoughtful, but also funny and get them to respond as well. The third one here for us is make a friend. So a no isn't a lost sale. When I talk about a successful sales transaction, it's that you've communicated to them, they've communicated to you, you've uncovered different pain points to their business, you've uncovered ways that you can help them in their needs, and then also you've talked about price and you've gotten something across. Now, ultimately, if somebody is saying no to you, that is okay, because now it gives you the opportunity, now that you've done a successful sales process or pitch, for them to understand your product a little bit more. And that's when you ask them this question. Totally understand if it's not a good fit for you right now. Knowing what you know about us or our product currently, is there anybody you think would actually benefit from something like this? So business owners are associated with other business owners. When you can say a phrase like that, they're going to have somebody that come to mind. As soon as they start thinking, well, that's when you say, there was somebody that came to mind there. Who was that? And at that point, you're now going to be able to get a name, whether they give you a name and an email, a name and a phone number, some way to contact that person here, or even ask them to give you an email intro to them as well. That's always a plus. But that's when you can make that no into a friend, where now you have now created another lead for yourself that didn't cost you any money. All it did was cost you an extra 30 seconds to ask them if there was somebody there that they thought would see value out of this. So you've gotten that lead now, and now you can work that sales process with that new lead. Plus, you have somebody who's now giving a referral, so they're probably going to recommend you. Even though they said no, doesn't mean it's not a good fit for this other person that you'll be talking to as well. So make sure that you can make that 5-minute friend. To recap the 3 tactics here to implement right away, the first one is speed to lead. And that goal is to reach out to the lead within the first 15 to 30 minutes of their inquiry. It is simple and very effective. Remember, it's a 50% increase in sales in that first 0 to 15 minutes of that inquiry coming in. The second is real follow-up. Use video follow-up if you want. I know we didn't talk about that much, but you can use video there to say, hey, thanks so much for your time today. Just wanted to put a face to the name from our conversation earlier today. It's been very effective. Also, provide value. Don't just call to call. Send them over an email, call them and say, hey, I just sent you a blog article I thought you would really relate to. And don't forget to use those memes to create that humor. If you can create that humor there, that's going to be very effective in your sales processes moving forward. And the third is make a friend. There's friends help friends. That's just the name of the game. The best outcome is that you get a referral from somebody, whether they signed up or not, which means you have a new lead to be able to work that you didn't have to pay for. That extra 30 seconds could make you a lot of money. From here, I have 2 free books that I'm happy to share with you. The first one is the Closer's Handbook that I've written. It's written to help entrepreneurs and salespeople learn the secrets to long-term sales success. It also includes real scripts that are fully customizable for you and focuses on the blueprint to success in sales. And the second is more the outbound side of things, where there's definitive guide to cold calling. This book was written to help understand a few different things about cold calling. The first is why cold call. Second is when to cold call, and some tactics to improve your success rates when cold calling. I always say that cold calling isn't dead, it's evolving, and we need to evolve with it if we're looking to make our sales and make the growth into our business a priority. Here's a few ways to contact me. I really wanted to keep this short, simple, and effective for you. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. Feel free to call or text me, send me an email there. I'm also on LinkedIn. I would love to be able to help you out. If you have any questions regarding your sales processes, sales teams, would love to help you guys in terms of reaching your goals and also expanding on your goals as well. Thanks for tuning in here, guys. Don't be afraid to reach out and use those sales tactics here. I'm really excited for you to see where your growth can go.